Okay, here we go.
Question?
One question. In the Mayan world, when they played the ball court, which was a variation of basketball, putting the ball through the hoop high up, the winning team was sacrificed for the gods or the creator.
Mm-hmm.
How did the Mohawk, in comparison to the tribes up in Canada, per se, was any of that going on? I know that they averted war, as you said earlier, but any sacrifice going?
Originally, no. Well, never no. They would, if whoever won the game, is a 1-point game, so whoever scored first won the game. If 1,000, like one tribe won the game, the other 1,000 would then be part of their tribe, and then that whole tribe would become their own tribe. So it's basically whoever won the game conquered the other tribe, and they all became the same tribe. And then they got their lands as well. So not really, but it was more of like an assimilation game almost.
Got it.
But they would just combine the tribes and conquer the land, so they make the tribe bigger, whoever won. Any more?
You were saying that there are more lacrosse people than football people registering. That was a bad way of saying that. Does that at all have to do with gender? Because even though females can play football, not very many do, where girls and guys can both do lacrosse fairly easily.
Yeah, I only said the male statistic, but actually females do play lacrosse. In some cases more than men. But female, I would say female play more than females football, obviously. Soccer, probably not, because a lot of females don't typically like lacrosse because they want to play more like the guys do, and the rules say they're not allowed to. But I would say around 3,000 to 4,000 play, because I was a referee in lacrosse, so I know like statistics. And last time we had 5,000 in 3 counties, I think, playing girls lacrosse. Any more questions?
Still doesn't outnumber soccer for girls.
I don't think anything will outnumber soccer.
Did you look at race as far as who's playing?
In Forsyth County, it's mostly whites.
What?
What? Yeah.
What about throughout the nation?
And throughout the nation, it's mostly whites, but you have a growing population of actually black people in the northern parts. Like, I just got back from a conference, and I had a friend, Jack, who said he would say 20 people on his team out of 35 are of color, not white. So it's starting to actually become more of not a racist sport.
Mhm.
And yeah, I dropped that. It's starting to become more integrated through all cultures instead of just white culture, I would say. Any other questions?
Predominantly on your last question, how many Hispanics did you have?
We had 5 or 6 Hispanics, and
Out of how many?
out of 50, but we also had only one team of varsity, so we had 50 kids on our team.
What are the key aspects of the game that make it so attractive?
Mostly the sprinting throughout the game. Nobody really likes the sprinting, but the fact that it's the fastest game on 2 feet in the world. So you go from one end of the field, one end of the field. It's not like football where you stop after 30 seconds of play and then you wait 3 minutes and then you're just sitting there watching the game. Then they stop and they play for 30 seconds and then you're sitting there watching the game. You only stop for about 15 seconds when someone scores or it goes out of bounds or there's a penalty that has to be called.
Continual short bursts.
Yeah, so it's a continuous game that instead of getting your 15-minute quarters in football, you get 45-minute quarters of just seeing them stand there and get into line, whereas lacrosse you get your 12 minutes of stop quarters, same as football, of continuous play and not stopping.
Do you think it'll ever be more popular than football?
With modern day lacrosse, yes. I don't think football is going to last as long as people will think with the dying out of baseball now. There's a quote, I don't remember from who, but he said everything comes to an end, it doesn't matter what it is from, what it is, or how popular it is at the time, everything will come to an end. Which lacrosse will eventually come to an end, but I think it's on the rise right now compared to football.
There's not a whole lot of protective equipment. You wear a helmet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what else?
We wear shoulder pads, elbow pads, gloves, a helmet, and a cup is.
Mandatory.
It's not mandatory, but it's highly recommended. I broke my face to it because I was retarded and did not wear a helmet one day, which I do not recommend because it really sucks. And
Even with the gear though.
Even with the gear though.
Damien broke his collarbone with shoulder pads and chest plate.
It's a highly, once you play it though, it's not like football where you can get scared of the hits. Like I played football and got scared of the hitting, and I didn't like it. But then I played lacrosse, and I think the reason more kids like the contact in that is because you have higher reward when you get hit. So I would run straight in front of the goal and get hit by 3 people and I'd score, but I'd be like, awesome, I just scored. And I could do that 6 times in a row and not getting 1 touchdown every 30 minutes.
Does lacrosse reward speed more or strength and size?
Strategy.
Mostly brains. If you know the game, like strategy of the game, and you have good stick skills, which is basically how do you handle your stick, you could beat anyone. I was not the fastest kid. I was probably one of the slowest kids on the team, but I had easily the best skills, stick skills on the team, and I knew the most about the game. So I knew what to do in certain situations when it would come to it. So if someone would come around the crease and start charging me, I knew I could either distract them by going towards them and then going the other way real quick with a short burst of speed, my little tiny 1 second short burst of speed, because then and then go around the other side and score from there.
Definitely not a sport for offensive and defensive linemen in football.
No. I mean, if you have that fast 50-yard sprint, you could maybe be someone on defense, but if you have to run over the field, which you can, maybe not. Any other questions?
So there's still 10 people on a team on
Yep.
the field?
You have 1 goalie, 3 defenders, 3 midfielders, so it's basically like the same in soccer. You have your middies, you have your defense, you have your goalie, and then you have 3 attacks. So attackers or points or whatever they're called in lacrosse and soccer.
And the only ones that can go full field are,
Middies can go full field. Defense can go full field, but a mid has to stay behind the 50-yard line to stay full field.
What about the goalie? Can't he go full
The
field?
goalie can go all the way
So
across
doesn't
no
that
matter what,
stay-
but someone has to stay
That's
back.
what I thought.
Anything else? Thanks so much.